now, I want to go to NBC News chief international correspondent Keir Simmons, who's up late watching the speech, giving us analysis. Keir, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Let's talk about what we heard. Hi there. We heard the president address Iran. He said his preference is for diplomacy, but you also heard him very clearly say he would not allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. What were your takeaways from what we heard on foreign policy tonight?
Kristen, on Iran, I think we heard a shift from President Trump tonight. I think it's significant. Just keep in mind where I am in the Gulf, in the Middle East, that there is this, what President Trump calls his armada. More than that, not just battleships and aircraft carriers, but air defences, fighter jets, a huge build-up of military power prepared to strike Iran. What we heard, and just to give the background before we get to the President Trump's words, what we heard from the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer today after that briefing from Secretary Rubio, that private briefing, saying this is serious, the president has to make his case to the American people. And then what we heard from the president tonight was those words that Iran wants to build weapons that will soon reach the United States of America. Now, Kristen, people have quickly moved to this Defense Intelligence Agency report that said that Iran could have 60 intercontinental ballistic missiles by 2035 if it chose to do that. It does sound as if President Trump is telling the American people now that Iran is choosing to do that it does want to build those ICBMs. Now, just for context, we should say North Korea already has them, according to the Defense Intelligence Agency, less than 10. China has them. Russia has them. But that is a case that we haven't heard until now, that not in this way, not from the president, not at this moment, that Iran could threaten the continental United States with intercontinental ballistic missiles, and that it seems he is saying that that decision has been made to build those weapons, again, by 2035. President Trump said soon. You can make your own judgment about whether soon is 2035. And then, in terms of the nuclear program, and of course that connects, chillingly so, with the missile question. In terms of the nuclear program in Iran, which President Trump has said has been obliterated, he said tonight they are starting all over again. They are right now pursuing their sinister ambitions. And then you just spoke to Scott Bessent, Kristen, describing Iran as the head of the snake for international chaos and disorder. So all of this, I think, begins to suggest a decision by the Trump administration, by President Trump, to make the case to the American people, here's why we need to strike Iran. And despite the fact that he also says that he hopes those negotiations will find a compromise.
Well, and of course, those negotiations continue on Thursday. Keir, thank you for that. We appreciate it.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.